The Atlantic slammed against the jagged granite cliffs of the Lizard Peninsula, sending up plumes of white spray that tasted of salt and ancient mystery. It was October 1978, a time before mobile phones and internet rabbit holes, when the coast of Cornwall felt genuinely isolated, the kind of place where secrets could be swallowed whole by the sea or the mist. 32-year-old Artie Penrose had lived his whole life in the shadow of Goonhilly Earth Station, the sprawling cluster of giant white satellite dishes rising from the barren heath, listening for whispers from the stars. Artie, a local mechanic and amateur astronomer, spent his nights looking up. On the night of October 14, he looked up and didn't come back down. The disappearance was mundane at first, as most tragedies are. Artie's Austin Cambridge was found parked near the cliffs at Kynance Cove, the headlights still faintly glowing, battery dying. His jacket was folded neatly on the driver's seat. Inside the pocket was a packet of Benson and Hedges and a notebook filled with precise, frantic sketches of concentric circles and astronomical coordinates. The local police launched the usual search. Coast guards rappelled down cliffs. Lifeboat crews scoured the churning grey water. They found nothing. No body. No sign of a struggle. If it had been just a missing persons case, Arthur Penrose would have been a fading footnote in the West Briton newspaper. But Cornwall in the late 1970s was a hotbed for something else. Within days of the search, the village pubs from the top house in Lizard Town down to the fishing inns were buzzing with stories that the police refused to write in their ledgers. Old Trethewey swore she'd been hanging her laundry past midnight when she saw a beam of violet light pierce the fog, descending directly over the cliffs at Kynance. She described it not as a glare, but as a solid pillar, like a shaft of purple glass. A pair of teenage campers a mile away reported their transistor radio dissolving into a wall of high-pitched static just before 2:00 a.m., accompanied by a low, sub-audible hum that made their teeth ache. When they unzipped their tent to check the generator, they saw a disk of dull, brushed metal hovering silently above the gorse bushes, casting no shadow before shooting straight up into the clouds at an impossible velocity, leaving behind a smell like burnt electrical wiring. Then came the ministry men. According to local rumour, 2 men in tailored grey suits, out of place in the rugged, mud-spattered landscape, arrived from London within 48 hours. They confiscated Artie's home telescope, his amateur radio equipment, and the Polaroid camera he kept in his glove box. They questioned his widow, Brenda, for 4 hours, and when she emerged, she refused to speak to the press, moving inland to live with relatives by Christmas. To the locals, the dots connected themselves. Goonhilly was listening to the cosmos, but maybe someone or something was listening back. Artie Penrose had simply tuned to the wrong frequency. Decades have passed. The satellite dishes at Goonhilly have been modernized, repurposed for deep space tracking and commercial internet. The cliffs at Kynunt's Cove are still as breathtaking and indifferent as ever, packed with tourists in waterproof jackets, eating pasties. Yet, if you sit in the snug of a lizard pub after the crowds have gone, nursing a bitter, someone will eventually lean over and lower their voice. They'll point out toward the horizon where the Atlantic meets the sky and mention the strange geometric lights occasionally seen dancing above the waves and flashing in patterns that don't match any known Morse code, waiting, perhaps, for someone to answer.